Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to this webinar where we're talking about New Balance with our friends from Wyden. Just while people are coming in and joining, we'll just wait for a moment before we get going with the real proper good hard content. I'll go through some introductory stuff once people have joined. The numbers are going up, so welcome. Thanks for coming along on this cloudy old day here. Well, I'm sitting in a conservatory with the natural light making myself look beautiful. So, right, we sort of have kind of stabilized there with the number of people. I'm sure more people will come and join us as we get going. My name is Paul Skeldon. I'm one of the editors at Internet Retailing, and we are here to hear about how New Balance and Fanatics have mastered the omnichannel customer journey, which is an intriguing subject. It's obviously right at the top of everyone's agenda, the omnichannel move, particularly now that here in the UK, the shops are reopening, in a very different world where shoppers are behaving very differently to how they did, a year or more ago before all this happened. So we're going to be hearing how those two companies did with their journey. I'm going to have questions at the end. If you can use the Q&A box that's on the screen there to put the questions in. We'll come to those right at the end so we don't interrupt the presentations and the flow of everything, but do ask them at any point you want, but we'll come to them at the end. The session is being recorded and will be out through the Internet Retailing website and will be emailed to everyone who registered. So you will get a copy. You'll be able to relive the highlights of it all and share it with your friends, family and loved ones. So that's the housekeeping done. We're going to be joined, or we are joined today by Frankie Buckle, Senior Customer Success Manager at Wyden, waving there, and Jake Athy, VP of Marketing and Customer Experience, also at Wyden, who are going to talk us through this. Now, Jake's going to kick things off with a presentation where he's going to set out how New Balance and Fanatics managed to master Omnichannel. So sit back, enjoy Jake's presentation, throw out your questions in the Q&A as you think of them, and we'll come to those at the end. So Jake, over to you.
Hello everyone. Paul, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen okay?
Yes, I can. It's looking good.
All right.
All good. So I'm going to mute myself and disappear from video just so I'm not a distraction from your presentation, and hand over to you. So away you go, Jake.
Yeah, tremendous. Thank you. And welcome everyone. Welcome to our webinar here today. Creating a quality product at an affordable price is no longer the only factor in a customer's purchasing decision. Now, brands need to meet customers wherever they're at, wherever that may be. And to put the customer at the center of your strategy, you must foster positive, consistent, and integrated experiences at each and every touch point along that customer's journey. Now, omnichannel marketing is a strategic multi-channel approach that provides your customers with a unified brand experience across all customer touch points. So we understand omnichannel. We also understand that changing consumer expectations throughout the past year, the coronavirus pandemic in particular, has led to more complex processes within manufacturing and retailing supply chains. Now, this complexity, it also occurs among the digital supply chains. And due to a rise in online shopping, coupled with shifting demands in the apparel and fashion industry, digital transformation is changing the way retailers, brands, and manufacturers work. And so whether you come from a product brand or an internet retailer, you're looking to technology solutions to transform your business operations. Now, those who do not automate their manual and error-prone go-to-market processes may be left behind, or maybe have already been left behind. So to support this, technology and software tools such as digital asset management, or DAM for short, and product information management, PIM, are available to drive advancements in the digital supply chain. Now, DAM and PIM systems connect marketing teams to sales channels and retail partners with consistent, on-brand, and up-to-date product content and data so that they can drive a relevant omnichannel experience for their customers. So we'll explore that here today in this webinar dedicated to mastering the omnichannel experience, highlighting some lessons from New Balance and Fanatics. With that as our intro, again, I'm Jake Athey, the VP of Marketing and Customer Experience for Wyden, a marketing technology company. And I'll be presenting some of the tremendous Wyden customer stories here today. And I'm also joined by Frankie Buckle, Wyden Senior Customer Success Manager, here to advise brands on how to utilize DAM and PIM solutions to support their omnichannel marketing and digital commerce strategies. So Frankie will come in a bit later when we have time for Q&A. Until then, as Paul said, sit back and enjoy the presentation to learn about how New Balance and Fanatics do omnichannel. I want to start out by covering the changing digital landscape and its impact on the customer journey. Now, the accelerated digital transformations and challenges that we've endured over the last year have prompted three key influences on commerce and behavior. The first, we have peak screen time. We all know we're spending more time on our devices than ever before. The second is the avoidance of marketing. We're leery as consumers of being marketed to. And then declining trust. We're very conscious about security and where we place our time, our attention, our data, and our dollars. So these three influences add increased pressure on marketers to connect with their customers in more meaningful ways among a digital landscape that's been in flux. So we know that e-commerce was growing and is now growing faster than ever. In fact, internet retailing here reports that e-commerce grew by 46% in 2020. And that's the strongest growth in more than a decade. Now, digital commerce across different platforms further fuels the need for effective omnichannel execution. But at the same time as this explosion in digital commerce growth, we understand that overall retail sales across all channels fell by about 1.9% by volume in 2020. Now, clothing and apparel was hit particularly hard, forcing brands and retailers to evaluate all of their costs, work processes, and customer experience. So, accelerated digital transformation has changed the game for marketers, and we need to consider that as we bring new levels of creativity, innovation, and scalability into the modern customer experience. Structured content is essential to scaling digital commerce and delivering an omnichannel experience. And organizations must provide accurate, compelling content to their customers across all channels by creating and deploying content strategically. And this requires careful planning, research, and investment in new tools, approaches, and talents to really scale. And so take a moment to ask yourself, what is your ideal customer experience in this new content-driven omnichannel world? And think about all of those touch points that buyers and customers have with your brand over the life of their journey. And so with that as the setup and the previous challenges that we discussed, this causes us to embrace changes in commerce and behavior in our go-to-market approach. And so let's explore how New Balance delivers an omnichannel customer experience while strengthening their brand strategy. Now, omnichannel is quite the loaded buzzword, so let's make sure that we fully understand the definitions and context. Forrester Research defines omnichannel as your customer experiences each channel as connected to the others with shared content and some knowledge of the past. And we say that omnichannel is a multi-channel approach to marketing, selling, and serving customers in a way that creates an integrated and cohesive customer experience, no matter how or where a customer reaches out or you reach your customers. It's less about where you sell and more about the identity, the consistency, and the personalization that comes with that customer experience. Now, omnichannel is also understood as an approach to connect everything a brand knows about an individual into one cohesive identity, to present a brand, including its products and services, its content, consistently in every channel, and to automatically adapt and personalize those brand communications to each identity. And this is the essential foundation of omnichannel experiences. It's modular content and product information that enables these experiences. And now more than ever, an omnichannel experience is being at the top or the tip of your fingertips, your customers' fingertips, anytime, anywhere, any device, from all the different channels that we experience a brand. Omnichannel is putting your customer at the center of the many ways that we may interact with your brand across all channels over time. And the importance of an omnichannel experience is that customers remember how they feel after encountering a brand at various connected touch points. And so regardless of the time, place, channel, number of engagements, the whole of their experience with a brand leaves them with a positive, memorable impression. And this feeling is important because it is exactly what compels customers to take action, to purchase your products, and to tell your friends about it. Now, an omnichannel customer experience could be considered a journey, and that journey often starts with a question or a curiosity. And that question often leads to an initial set of brand touch points, which often leads to another question or curiosity, which may lead to more touch points and more channels, which leads to more actions and so forth. Now, when brands do omnichannel effectively, users should be able to more freely move about one channel to the next, building relationships that improve the overall buying experience and encourages brand loyalty. So as we get into New Balance, let me share my experience as a New Balance customer. And I'll actually say that I'm a huge fan of New Balance, not only as their vendor, but as a customer. And I like them for their looks and their comfort. I like the New Balance shoes for running, walking, or casual wear. And I like that they stand for being American and British made with at least some of their shoes. And they stand for quality in their products and the total quality of their customer experience. And I really dig the New Balance store. I miss going there on a frequent basis. But myself, like many consumers, have been doing more shopping from home than in store over the last year. So as summer approaches, I've got my eye on a new pair of New Balance shoes. I'm on their email list, and they're right. They do know that I love these shoes. And so I click on that email and I take a break from my workday, check out their website, where I can get a good look at these shoes from multiple perspectives with the different image varieties. I can read up on their features, check out the different styles and colors, and then ultimately add them to my cart. At that time, I just wasn't ready to buy those new pairs of shoes yet, so I took a little break. I did just buy a pair last summer. So later on, I go to my phone and I start scrolling through Instagram and I spot one of their posts. And I think, wow, that's clever. Worn by supermodels in London in dads in Ohio. And so I think that's just what I needed to show my wife that it's a time for a new pair of dad shoes. So then I take a little more time to browse on newbalance.com on my phone, very mobile friendly site. I also bounce around on some different apps from Google search to Zappos. And I'm a fan of Zappos because of the immediate shipping and their friendly return policy. You may also buy shoes and apparel from sites like ASOS or Zalando. The point is, wherever I go and browse and buy New Balance shoes, I'm getting the same product and the same total quality of that experience. And that's an experience that's personal, it's consistent, and it's current. That experience may or may not be totally unique to me, the customer, but it's orchestrated in such a way that feels like I'm talking to the same person, no matter where I go. And while that experience may feel magical, it's not magic. It requires strategy, planning, coordination, and automation across the digital supply chain. Now, one of the magical technologies that's behind the scenes is a digital asset management solution. DAM and PIM, as we introduced earlier, are used to manage and deliver all of the visual content and product information that makes up the omnichannel experience. DAM and PIM systems serve as that central source of truth that enables omnichannel marketing by ensuring that everyone in your organization, internal and external, has accurate information, data, and the digital content assets needed to deliver and execute on a consistent, relevant, and unified brand experience across all customer touch points. And so among these tools, some of the niceties that New Balance really uses is a feature called brand portals. And brand portals help drive a consistent brand experience across all channels. Now, New Balance, they create portals for virtually every marketing need. Brand portals offer a very simple way to provide curated sets of content assets for specific product launches, for various campaigns, different channels, different brands, their different departments, as well as retail channels. Now, a brand or a retailer needs to ensure that everyone in their organization has access to the most current information, data, and assets needed to deliver on that consistent, relevant, and unified brand experience. That central source of truth is what fuels workflow efficiencies and team agility, ultimately creating that omnichannel experience. So for example, this portal is for the We Got Now campaign. And this contains some of the key visuals, social videos, and logos for the campaign. As you saw, users can zoom in on the large images, they can preview the videos, and download or share whatever selected assets are needed to execute for every channel of that campaign. Now, back to my 990 V5 shoes, the shoes that I've got my eye on for the summer. New Balance centrally manages all of the marketing content in one highly visual, intuitive digital asset library. And this allows New Balance marketing, creative, and sales teams and sales channels to organize and share, collect and curate, and ultimately deliver and use the right content for the job. So that job may be for the social and advertising teams to deploy all of this great creative in ways that drive personal, consistent, and current experiences, like we saw with my Instagram feed. Now, this is made possible by New Balance's approach to a very audience-driven digital content and channel management strategy. And they can offer and operate an omnichannel experience because they have an omnichannel marketing content hub. Their use of brand portals allows them to quickly and easily gather and share the right content for very specific audience needs. And they carefully curate the right assets for those moments that matter across the customer journey. Now, their marketing approach enables personalization because of the standardization and centralized control of content in support of their digital supply chains. This accessibility of content creates improved speed to market, which leads to sales. And when you look at it by the numbers, New Balance manages 470,000 assets for thousands of products. They've created over 4,000 brand portals for dozens of different marketing use cases across their 4 different brands. They provide controlled access to their digital asset library to about 3,000 users across 80 different user roles. They support 7,000 retailers in 120 countries and ultimately drive over $4.5 billion in annual sales, as last reported in 2019. Now, New Balance is a great example of a strong American and British brand in the fashion apparel and footwear industry. They're doing incredible things to deliver a rich, authentic, omnichannel customer experience. Now, in our next example, we want to switch gears just a little bit to talk about how the top 50 internet retailer Fanatics streamline their product operations to scale the digital customer experience. Now, Fanatics is the leader in sports licensed apparel, and they have deployed digital asset management solutions to streamline its e-commerce product content workflows. So for Fanatics, DAM provides centralized cloud storage and distribution for e-commerce product content syndication from the studio shot all the way through to the web experience. And they're embracing automation to streamline their digital content supply chains from the point of capturing and creating new product images to centralizing and curating product content based on metadata automation and to publish and deliver the highest quality content to the point of the customer experience, which majority of the time is online. Now, DAM feeds all of the product images used across hundreds of Fanatics-powered shopping experiences. And this includes their main site, fanatics.com, and other sites like nflshop.com, the nbastore.com, and many more. And DAM enables speed to market and quality representation of all products online. And since DAM is a very visual platform, images can be carefully reviewed, approved, enriched, and supplied in a highly efficient manner. Fanatics' goal is to get product images online as soon as any demand-driven event occurs, so they can begin selling new gear in the moment, such as with the NFL draft coming up. And this requires a lot of upfront preparation and automation. Now, Fanatics also uses DAM to facilitate the reuse of a lot of images, which helps to save costs and improve speed. And some images are used once, where some are reused hundreds of times. And they can save a lot on product photography costs and work through logistical challenges by reusing images, such as with jerseys for different athletes and sports apparel for different teams. Reusing and repurposing images for different uses also supports brand consistency with a common look and style across all of the Fanatics-powered websites and products. Now, the Fanatics use case is a very metrics and sales-driven digital asset management instance. Their DAM solution serves as an e-commerce product content engine. And their business comes from hot market demands based on events in the sports world. So they literally manage winning and losing assets. They're preparing images to market products in advance of knowing who the winning team may be. Similar to New Balance, DAM brings standardization and centralized version control, which again enables accessibility, speed to market, and ultimately sales. So by the numbers, Fanatics manages over 3 million assets for thousands of products from over 1,000 vendors. And their digital asset library is accessed by 500 users across 55 different user roles. They manage licensed apparel sales for 13 professional sports leagues and over 150 collegiate and professional teams. Now, Fanatics powers over 300 online and offline stores, providing 30% growth in year-over-year e-commerce sales. That's quite remarkable. So let's talk more about DAM and PIM. Are you using a DAM and PIM solution today? DAM or PIM solution today? Just to provide a bit more background on these two technologies. Again, DAM software is a library for a brand's digital assets, like product images, videos, documents, creative files, etc. It is the command center for teams to access the latest version of design files on demand. And leveraging automation in DAM allows teams to replace outdated assets across a brand's digital channels based on a new version of that master file housed in the DAM. It also collects data which enables teams to identify their best performing assets. This allows them to make more informed content strategy decisions, including what to create more or less of based on those asset interactions. Whereas PIM is particularly important for e-commerce brands, providing a content hub to collect, manage, and enrich all of the information that's critical to communicating a brand's products. And this includes descriptions, colors, pricing, feature lists, and a whole lot more. So once the product information is in the PIM solution, teams can automatically update it across various integrated websites and syndicate it to other channels to ensure that shoppers have the most up-to-date, accurate information. And when DAM and PIM are integrated, they make for a powerhouse couple, a powerhouse product content and experience management solution, to be exact. And so let's take a closer look at what the strategic integration of DAM and PIM looks like. Again, in this world of accelerated digital transformation, legacy methods for digital asset and product information management just won't cut it anymore. Spreadsheets and email, those are 20th century tools. They create silos and hurdles and often result in go-to-market delays, content defects, and customer experience breakdowns. Now today, digital asset management, DAM, and product information management, PIM, are playing increasing roles to optimize the digital customer experiences across every channel. They enable digital marketing, commerce, and even content strategy teams to create and manage the whole conversation with customers more easily and more effectively. But many businesses have yet to invest and integrate in these two very important systems into their MarTech ecosystem. DAM and PIM solutions are often disconnected systems managed by different teams and have different data structures and data schemes. An integrated approach to DAM and PIM can lower the cost of digital experience delivery and optimize the marketing efforts for a better customer experience. So the first key to this approach is to bring content together centrally before it goes to specific channels. And this allows marketers to more efficiently orchestrate the total quality of the customer experience in ways that leverage objective information to set expectations and authentically build trust. Now, the second key to this approach is to maintain one source of truth, that golden record, if you will. And this ensures that there's no doubt to working with the most current content assets and product information. Assets can be linked to different marketing platforms with central control to manage the content and automatically update new versions wherever they're used. So, as we go through how marketers can transform the way you work to bring new product content to market, consider what customer experiences are possible when you can automate some of those other mundane tasks with an integrated approach to DAM and PIM. So here's a high-level walkthrough to see how DAM and PIM systems are working together to deliver content for an omnichannel experience. First, you may import product data from your technical systems of record. This may include your master data management, your product lifecycle management, or your enterprise resource planning tools, MDM, PLM, and ERP, into this centralized DAM and PIM solution that's built for marketing teams. And this gets your source data into a place where it can be referenced, accessed, enriched, and reused by the marketers and creatives that are responsible for bringing your products to market. And then product data imports can trigger notifications to copywriters and creatives to pick up on their tasks of preparing for launch using that product master data set. A challenge that we know exists is having multiple stakeholders working at the risk of outdated, inaccurate, or insufficient product details. Now, this ensures that everyone is working together with the same, most current information at the same time. And then copywriters can work to enrich each product entry with marketing copy. This includes descriptions, features and benefits, and other sales messaging to accompany the master product data. And this can be done while referencing existing product images and other visual assets to work in complete context of what customers would see online versus, say, working in spreadsheets. And so when creatives and marketers have the complete picture with all of the pertinent product information, they're more deliberate about setting and meeting the customer expectations. Then creative teams can kick off new work requests or creative briefs for their campaigns and product launches in the DAM and PIM solution. This allows the marketing team to keep new creative work in process details centralized alongside those product records. And then creatives do their thing. They work in Adobe Creative Cloud, where they can get all the existing assets to be edited or create new assets to go along with the campaign or product launch. New assets are routed for creative review and approval, complete with multi-step workflows and on-screen pinpoint annotations in order to keep cycle time down and maintain a high attention to detail that's required for delivering accurate, consistent, and high-quality customer experiences. And then approved creative works can be released as final assets available for on-demand access from a central library, complete with governance controls over who can access specific content at specific times. And at any point, marketers can add or edit rights, release, and security metadata, or add and manage new content versions, remaining agile to some fluid conditions. And then modern marketers can really up their game with emerging media types such as 360 spin photography that provides a richer product content experience. For consumers to simulate shopping online the way that they would in store. Richer product content drives higher conversions. And then all new assets are linked to individual product entries for central command of all of the product information and visual content assets at the individual product level. Marketers can curate all the right product content to improve sales enablement and marketing campaign execution using portals created for specific audiences or events. And these portals can contain all of the right collections of assets needed for the campaign or the product launch to create that omni-channel experience. You can also export product information and content assets for specific channels, such as your website, digital marketplaces like Amazon, your dealers or retailers' sites, and other print partners. And this gets the right product information and assets wherever it needs to go. You can syndicate rich product information and approved digital assets directly to digital marketplaces like Google Merchant Center to automate the entire series of marketing activities from product content creation to that point of sale. And there you have it. By bringing content together and maintaining one source of truth, the benefits of integrating DAM and PIM create more efficient access to marketing and sales channels, increased consistency and quality of product data used across multiple channels and platforms, faster go-to-market and content-driven experiences that can be optimized more effectively by understanding content and customer intent, automated handoffs between systems and teams, and automated file delivery for on-demand fulfillment of product content for any needs. So this underlies what an integrated approach to DAM and PIM can do for you. Automated, accurate product content supply chains allow you to focus on delivering that omni-channel experience. So in closing, consistent product content and data is foundational to delivering an omni-channel experience. And if you can deliver clear, accurate, and personalized content at every stage of that journey, you can integrate high-quality connections and build brand trust that can last whatever comes your way, even a global pandemic. Thank you for your time here today. We do have plenty of time for questions. We can take any and all questions, and I'll turn it over to Paul.
Hi, well, yes, great. Thanks, Jake. Hello, I'm back. Let me just make sure my video and everything's on. Yeah, that was really interesting. Thank you for that. Some great stuff. We've had a few questions in. I have a few questions myself also. First of all, I think I've got a very quick one that has come in that I think is really more of a sort of just a quick answer question before we get into the sort of real nitty gritty. Anthony has asked, what content management system is New Balance using? Do you know?
Yeah, by that question, I'm assuming it's is it web content management, as in what powers their website?
I think yeah. Well, I think he's just after what CMS New Balance are using, I guess, for their web content. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, of course, they use Widen for digital asset management. When it comes to web content, that I'll have to check and get back to you, Anthony.
Okay, I thought that might be the case. It's quite a specific question there.
Okay, it looks like for the PIM and DAM. Okay, Anthony, for DAM they use Widen.
Lovely, brilliant. Okay, we got one here. Says we have thousands of product types, each one of them with specific assets ranging from product info docs to media files. How does New Balance organize their assets? So how would a retailer with all this disparate stuff, I guess in different silos, how would it go about organizing that?
I can probably speak to that one, Paul. So yeah, that's a really good question. And I would say I would start with the assets can be structured in a variety of ways. And then from a systems governance perspective, all assets are going to belong to asset groups or buckets, think of those. And then users are belonging to user roles. And then a very sort of granular set of permissions determines how users can interact with those different assets. For example, you could have some users like sales users, they can only see and download or share active assets. And then you can have like another type of user, perhaps internal creatives or agency partners that have access to upload or edit the new assets. And then perhaps marketers can see unreleased assets used to prepare upcoming campaigns. So then from a search perspective, assets can be organized in a multitude of ways as well. And they can be associated with categories by hierarchical navigation, or they can be curated and grouped into collections for different purposes. And then those collections can be organized in different brand portals as a way to easily share content. And then in addition to categories and collections, all assets have like associated metadata, so that's data about data. And those controlled vocabulary metadata can be set up as filters. So if you think about e-commerce sites and how you'd filter on the left-hand side usually, the whole DAM site can then of course be set up to have that e-commerce site experience. And on the PIM side, product entries, they couple assets with the product information at the product level. And these products can then be organized in different ways as well. So yeah, I mean, we'd love to show you more if anyone would like a demo to kind of deep dive into these things. We're happy to do that too.
Excellent. Yes, I think there is probably one last slide that can pop up when at a suitable point, which does actually outline how people can contact you guys for a demo or any other in-depth questions. I have another one here from Martin. Does AI play any part in the Widen solutions?
Yeah, tremendous. I can take that one, Frankie. So we partner with a platform known as Clarify, CLARIFAI, as our primary AI partner. We also are capable of integrating with other AI partners for various purposes. Some of the main purposes for AI integration into the digital asset platform include auto tagging. So metadata tagging is often one of the most daunting tasks that those who are not dedicated digital asset managers grapple with. And Clarify helps to add enough context to photos to make them immediately accessible until additional keywords and categories can be applied. And so this can reduce the amount of time spent on tagging, which tends to be among the most labor-intensive part of digital asset management administration. It also supports greater reuse to ensure that there's a match on a variety of search terms that users may be searching for. We also, with AI, we have coming up similar search, so search by images that look like this one. And with Clarify, there's also custom training for more product-specific content. And so if you're a product marketer, custom training would allow it to learn more of the very specific product attributes that you're working with. So yes, AI is part of digital asset management.
Absolutely. I guess there's probably very few things in the digital world where AI isn't playing a part, I would have thought. Another question here is, we work with multiple partners and agencies. How can we ensure we're sending things through securely? What permissions did Fanatics and or New Balance set up?
Yeah, I can take that one. That's a really good question. And of course, yeah, security is very key. And again, previously I mentioned that all assets belong to those different asset groups or those asset buckets, and all users can belong to user roles. So a very granular set of permissions determines how those users will interact with the different assets. So you can have different user roles interacting with different asset groups in different ways, and that's what Fanatics and New Balance do. So you may have different roles for different internal teams like marketing, creative, product, merchandising, and sales, and then different roles for external agencies and channel partners. And you may have different access for your suppliers or retail partners so that they can't see the work or others' assets.
Excellent stuff. We have a couple of questions here about SharePoint. Don't like to sort of point fingers at particular companies, but I think these are quite sort of relevant here. Teams currently using SharePoint to store and share assets. When is the right time to switch from that to a DAM and PIM solution? And similarly, what is the process of migrating from SharePoint or any other file sharing tools to a DAM and PIM solution? Who wants to take that one, or those two?
Frankie, do you want to take that one? I'm sure you've dealt with that before.
Yes, I have. That's a very common question, I would say. Yeah, I think the telltale signs that you need a DAM or a PIN, I think the first one is clearly people struggle to find stuff. You know, if you're spending hours looking through shared folders, you get complaints from people internally, it's like, I can't find anything I need. Then there's a really good chance that you've grown out of your shared folders, you've grown out of SharePoint or file sharing tools. And these tools lack the rich metadata and the organization structures that I've been talking about that a true DAM solution provides. I think also another one is that assets, they need more explanation, and that would be the metadata side of things. So if your assets need a little extra explanation, like you might have restricted use cases or special instructions on how to use those assets, then I think that's something that a DAM system would also provide, because obviously all DAM systems allow you to add metadata, such as the usage, rights, expiration dates, project details, etc., to your asset details. So you can also attach other files as well. So you can attach things like model release forms, and then so teams have everything they need in one place. So I think that's definitely one of the signs to kind of graduate. I think also for your designers as well, another kind of sign would be that file conversions eating up too much design time. So your designers need to constantly stop and start projects to handle file conversions for other departments, and then those workflow interruptions create a bottleneck for everyone. And then a DAM system, of course, can automate those file conversions, and with preset conversions that you want to set up. You set them up specifically for your use cases, and then your team can download the files that they need right from the DAM themselves with no input from designers. And I think with SharePoint, SharePoint obviously you can integrate with other systems, but I think DAM and PIM systems specifically, they're intended to be integrated with other marketing technologies within your marketing tech stacks, and that's something I talk about frequently with a lot of my clients. And that includes web content management, e-commerce, marketing automation, social media, and all the other things that you're used to using in the marketing world. And the DAM, of course, is the intelligent content hub that allows you to serve those assets automatically wherever they need to go. And you asked about migrating, Paul. Yeah, that one is. Yeah.
What is the process of migrating from someone like SharePoint or other file sharing tools into a DAM and PIM solution?
Yeah, no, that can be a big one. Yes, that can be a seriously daunting task. So at Widen, we do aim to make that very simple. We have implementation consultants that work with you to export all your files and obviously all the metadata that you do have from those other tools, and then import them over to the DAM solution. And then they would also work with you to get set up the different metadata structures and the taxonomies, like the categories and the asset groups and the roles and things that I've mentioned. And then, of course, we train everyone on how to use the system, and it's flexible to change and evolve as your organization grows and evolves. And then that's kind of what I'm doing as part of my job, is advising people on how to grow and how to set up their systems in the way that really helps them and their organization grow in future as well. Does that kind of answer your questions?
I think so. I think it's certainly a start. I think the overriding point there is, if anyone wants to know, they have to ask you, Frankie, personally. So expect your phone to be ringing off the hook.
Do you know what? It was actually just ringing just now as well. So I thought,
there you go. See, this does work as a great way to publicise your skills. So looking at it from sort of a portal point of view, for people who have resellers selling their products, or partners sort of selling, there's a couple of things have come through here. One is about sort of creating portals. How do you sort of keep all your sensitive private documents safe from prying eyes of your resellers? And equally, do you need to provide training for partners and resellers to work with you if you make this sort of switch?
Frankie, you're on a roll. You want to keep going?
Yeah, I can do. Yeah, sure. I was going to give this one to you, Jake, but yeah. So yeah, portals are, they're a great way for curating and sharing or providing access to the right content. And as I talked about the different permissioning before, that's also a way to get those assets out to the right people at the right time. And then those portals can be set as public, password protected, or indeed require a login to the system. And that would then respect those different permissions. So, that would kind of help, also if you send a link to somebody with a portal, they have the link, you've shared that purposefully with them. If they don't have the link, they can't access the portal. So it's quite simple like that, really. As for kind of training your partners and distributors, the portals and the platform itself is designed to be very visual and intuitive. So generally, we would say that there's not really any retraining required for, general users, since it's similar to shopping online. But we do have a variety of training options to assist with the change management side of things, user adoption required with adopting a new system and new processes. And you can also try it out for yourself. You can see how intuitive it is at widen.com, and that will be in our follow-up email as well. And yeah, of course, we do provide, training for administrators. So the main contacts I would be working with, they can train your different user groups if needed as well. And we have, video training, on-demand training, and many customers have also created the user materials based on our resources that are then customized and branded for their own internal use as well. So.
Excellent, lovely. Another one here. We've still got a bit of time for some questions. Does your solution offer content syndication, including a direct connection to Amazon or, say, Walmart?
So we partner with Products Up as our primary content syndication provider. Other customers may choose to work with other syndication providers, such as Salsify, for example. With Products Up, it's direct to Walmart. I don't believe it's direct to Amazon at this time, as it does not allow, Amazon does not allow that. But Products Up, productsup.com is our primary content syndication provider.
Excellent stuff. While you were in your presentation, Jake, you were talking about part of this giving access to the sort of content creation people. They could easily enrich each entry and that sort of thing with different sort of wording and sales messages. Is there also scope in this to add in sort of user generated content or stuff from sort of social into those sort of things on a kind of on the fly basis?
We recognize that user-generated content, reviews, social content, that can be a real powerful addition to your mix. We don't build tools that specialize in that. However, they could be managed as content assets or metadata or additional metadata to go alongside that product information or that product entry. You could have links to social content, or we do have ways to automate the ingest of, say, images that are posted to Instagram, for example, or other social networks. So there are a few varieties of ways that customers have managed that. We do not provide a specialized tool for managing user-generated content or reviews. We have partnered with another user-generated content specialist provider in Tint, T-I-N-T, handles user-generated content.
Cool stuff. Now, this is a question from me, and it might expose my technical ignorance. We might be operating at the very cusp of my technical knowledge. I've done a lot of work recently about progressive web apps. Where does what you do fit with progressive web apps, and what would the sort of organization who was looking to maybe, well, re-platform is probably not really the right word, but sort of in sort of go for a progressive web app mobile first strategy? How does that fit with what you do?
Well, ultimately, we provide the central source of truth, the content that would then be used across various customer touch points, which could include web apps. Our embedding and sharing capabilities would allow that content to be embedded in different mobile platforms and apps, while maintaining that central control of the image and product information. I'm not sure if that answers your question directly.
Yeah, no, it sort of does. I think sort of while I was asking, I sort of began to realize that actually, yes, you handle the sort of content, sort of ball of content, and yes, if you want to do progressive web apps, you just point your progressive web apps at the content and that you manage then through you. Another question has just popped in. I'll probably make this the last one. It's quite a straightforward one. It's probably a yes or a no answer. Is what you do integrated with Shopify?
Yeah, again, good question. Love that question. It's on deck on our roadmap.
Excellent stuff. Brilliant. Right. Well, there's no more questions from our lovely audience. We're coming up to the hour. I think we've covered quite a lot of stuff there. If anyone else does have any questions, do send them in via the sort of links you have for doing the webinar. We can pass them on. And the recording of the webinar will be available shortly for you to watch it again and share. But just leaves it to me to thank Jake and to Frankie for taking the time to do that. Really interesting presentation, some excellent stuff there, some stuff to really go away and think about and ingest and enjoy. So thank you everyone for listening, and thank you guys for doing the presentation, and see you all again soon. Thank you and goodbye.
Thanks all.
Bye guys. Bye.